Good morning. I haven't been up long. Day five. Wow. It's going to be a good day for that reason alone. But it really has been a good fast. No big healing crises, just mild versions of what I expect. I'm drinking my breakfast. I've warmed my water and put it in a mug to feel a little bit special. I want to answer a few questions that I have received from you guys. The first question, the most frequent question I've been getting throughout the week is, how much weight are you losing? Well, first of all, let me emphasize that I'm not doing this to lose weight. I was already at a normal weight. I had crept up maybe 5 pounds more than I wanted, and so that will probably stay off, and that's a good thing. But here on the morning of day 5, I'm down about 10 pounds. Now, that is 3 or 4 pounds of water weight that will come back within 2 days, probably 1 day, of when I begin eating. Just because your body has to store some water for the chemical process of digestion. It just has to. So that's going to come back. You can't stop it, and it's a good thing. So my net weight loss right after this fast will probably settle out at 5 or 6 pounds. I have a pretty high metabolism. I work out every day, and I tend to lose weight quickly during a fast. If you have a medium to very sedentary lifestyle, you may not lose 10 pounds in 5 days. You typically lose 3 or 4 the first day or two, because that's the reverse of just what I just said. That's the water leaving, okay, and you'll put it back. So I'm pretty happy with the weight loss. I wouldn't want to go any lower. Another question came up after I talked about the enema a little bit yesterday morning, and I just wanted to emphasize that really amazing things are happening throughout our digestive tract when we fast. I live a pretty clean, way above average, I would say, lifestyle in terms of my eating. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat any white flour, white carbs, white rice. I stay away from processed foods, additives, dyes. I cook a lot at home, and when I do eat out, I make very selective choices at the best healthy restaurants I can find. So I have upped my coffee. I do drink wine. I'll occasionally have a hard liquor drink, but not often. So, I've got a pretty healthy lifestyle. But still, when I fast and when I do the enemas, I always get a really creepy result by about day 3 or 4. And don't want to gross you out, but here it is. Yeah, so what is that? Well, believe me, I went on a quest to find out. And what it is, it's not tapeworms, roundworms, or anything else like that. I'm not saying I'm too good to get those kind of things. If you eat sushi, if you eat anything, we are all prone to have parasites inside us. If you've ever traveled outside the country, so beware. Almost all of us have parasites at one time or another inside our bodies. But this particular thing that enemas bring out of me when I'm fasting is something that I recently found a term for, and they do call it rope worms. Okay, again, the word worm is a misnomer here. It is not per se a worm. It's just what they've named it. If you go to this website, globalhealingcenter.com, and you'll find some information on ropeworms. Oh, actually, I would just put in a general search, Global Healing Center ropeworms, all in a Google search, and it'll bring up the exact page. And you'll see what they have determined this substance is, because they see it when people do coffee retention enemas, when they do water fast. You will not ever see this come out of your body on a normal day, because your intestine is retaining this. your colon is retaining this until you do something to house clean. So what is this? They theorize it's some kind of it's got human DNA in it. So that's why they know it's something different from your run-of-the-mill like parasite. It is actually a part of your body, but it's not a part that should be there. So it's like a biofilm, maybe, some kind of an abundance or accumulation of mucosa. Our intestine naturally produces mucus to help move through what it's supposed to move through, but it is not supposed to build up that mucus. It's supposed to have a chance to do almost like a daily house clean. But we abuse our bodies so much and eat so much of the wrong things and don't take care of our colons that mucus tends to build up over time and kind of create these hard layers one upon the other. So some theories are that it's that. Another theory is that it's an overgrowth of yeast fungus or candida, and that's what I am really convinced that mine is. I do not have the typical female trouble of yeast infections, but I have always had weird sinus trouble that does not hurt or cause me pain, but I think it's candida. Right now the roof of my mouth is getting tender. It always does on a fast, and I guarantee you when I start to refeed in a couple of days, tomorrow and the next day or two, it will be so tender that it will take away a little bit of the extreme pleasure of being able to eat again. And I just, for some reason, I hold some level of candida in my digestive system. It's getting better. When I first started doing these fasts, that picture you just saw came out much more copiously than it does now. But I shared that little bit of personal information with you because I want you to really see how even a quote-unquote healthy person who really tries to do the right thing and does a pretty good job of it still needs to cleanse. And fasting is one of the few ways and the best way to release your colon of these toxin-holding mucus ropes that should not be there. All right, we are to the late afternoon of day 5. And I am really looking forward to that first, it's not going to be a meal. I don't know how I'm going to break the fast, but it might be some of my beef broth that I referred to on an earlier video tonight, because I wouldn't do anything heavier than that and then sleep. I am actually entering into the hardest part of the fasting process. As exciting as it is to be close to the end, refeeding, that's what we fasters use the terminology for entering back into our normal eating patterns, hopefully improved eating patterns, but call it refeeding. And that's got to happen very carefully, very gradually. There's got to be a plan and a plan that you stick to. For one thing, you can gain back your weight and more so easily because your metabolism does go down during a fast, no doubt. So if you start to add back and pack on the calories, not only are you going to feel terrible, undo a lot of the fasting process that you did, because guess what? Your adrenals, your digestive system, a couple of other organs may have gotten a rest, but other organs did not get a rest. What organs did not get a rest? Any organs involved in the detox process. Your liver didn't get much of a rest, not if you're very toxic. Your lymph system was probably working overtime. Your lungs were working overtime. Your bladder had to eliminate some pretty nasty stuff, and even though your colon and small intestine and large intestine were cleaning themselves, and they weren't digesting food, which is a lot more energy, they were still getting rid of some toxins. So when you eat, you want to be gradual. You want to be good to your body. You want to feed it, and it's actually going to, in a slightly different way, even jumpstart a cleanse with food now. Because when it's got those calories in and it's got that energy back in, and say, hey, we've been working, we've been eating on her fat and on her scar tissue and all this, and she's giving us this great stuff now. Let's do but if we still feel good because she's feeding us right, let's go 150%. So you're going to have some good after cleanse effects if you will eat properly. The rule of thumb is as many days as you fasted, it should take you that many days to get back to a normal diet. So I fasted five and a half days. it should take me that long to get back to meat, to hard to digest items, to wine, to any coffee. I should introduce those things into my diet so gradually. The first day should be pureed soups, broths, maybe a piece of fruit. The second day, maybe introduce some cooked but easy to digest vegetables. Actually, too many raw vegetables right away can be tough. They can be harder to digest than some moderately cooked vegetables. You know, like a steamed broccoli for most people is easier to digest and more nutritious, by the way, than, because some things are released in a moderate amount of heat, than raw. So study up and have a plan for how you're going to refeed yourself. Before I end to this video today, my 5th day, I'm going to come back, by the way. I'm going to come back tomorrow one more time and show you that first meal, the first chewing, okay? So if you're interested, you can be a part of that with me. But one thing I wanted to end with is just kind of a funny story about my husband on a fast that he was on. He always had like exemplary cholesterol. I mean, like 170, 180, no problem. Couldn't believe that a man in his, 40s, late 40s could have such good health in that regard. And he had it tested with his doctor several times, and of course they had it in his records. And just as a matter of chance, he had a checkup on an unrelated matter on about day 4 or 5 of a fast. So, we weren't going to say anything to the doctor, not make a big deal about it. But when his cholesterol numbers came back, they were like worried. They were like, sir, you're, 220, 230, whatever, borderline for medication and all this. And we sat there and looked at each other because I knew what was happening, and I had to make a determination, am I going to say anything to the doctor? Because I don't want to sound like the know-it-all. I'm certainly not nearly as, and I love this doctor, and he's brilliant. I love him. But anyway, what had happened with Lee's cholesterol is during a fast, since you are you're breaking down any arterial plaque and other fatty deposits too. And of course, your organ of transport through your body, your lymph system is too, but primarily is your blood. So those broken down fatty deposits, the arterial plaque, that's cholesterol, are like zipping around in your blood. Getting, the extra can finally find a home elsewhere, okay? Because cholesterol is a band-aid for bad blood vessels, really. Cholesterol comes in sticks because it's supposed to. It saves our life from leaky little tiny microscopic tears in the blood vessels. But we ask it to do its job over and over and over because we're not taking care of the root problem, which is the blood vessel health. And so the plaque comes, the plaque comes, the plaque comes, and then we might eat some foods that exacerbate it being sticky, and there's the problem. So a fast is going to undo all this, and you're going to have free-flowing cholesterol all over. So that's what the measurement was. And I decided to say something, that it was because of the fast, and explained shorter what I just did to you. And I mean, he wasn't ugly, rude, or agreeable. It was just like he was in shock. He's so smart, he got it. He got the picture in 3 seconds, but you could tell he'd never thought of that. So sure enough, he goes back for a follow-up checkup 2 or 3 months later, and his cholesterol's right back down, 170, 180, like always. So I just thought that is one tangible bit of evidence we have about what a fast is doing, of our own personal experience. All right, I've kept you long enough. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I'll let you know in the morning if I did a little bone broth tonight, and let you see what my first meal is in the morning to break the fast. Thank you. Bye-bye.